you cannot work your way through school anymore.
Unless you're a stripper, maybe.
Maybe.
This is Whose Creek Is It?
The podcast where two sisters recap and pontificate about the show Dawson's Creek.
I'm Miranda, and I've seen the whole series at least 5 times.
And I'm Allison, and I'm watching this show for the very first time. Let's get started.
Season 1, episode 10, called Double Date. This episode was wild.
There were so many choices by so many people, but mostly Dawson.
Yeah. He is not a great guy in this episode, but it's funny cuz like 2 different girls tell him he is a nice guy.
Yeah, because the bar's in hell. Yeah, this one just went sideways, man.
It's very strange. Dawson's kind of creepy and scary in this one. And then also like I don't know, this is actually probably one of my favorite episodes just because I don't know, the characters' interactions are fun, whether it be like embarrassing, awkward, or ooh, they like ya.
That was, yeah, it was. I wrote a lot of things in all caps in my notes, just like, what are we doing, people? But we open where we always open.
Yeah, we open to Dawson's bedroom where he seems to be having kind of like a wine fest about being broken up with Jen and is like, we've been broken up for 2 weeks and she hasn't like tried to spend any time with me. And it's like, of course.
She broke up with you. She's saying, I don't want to spend that much time with you.
Yeah, like I need some time to process and
Yeah.
get you out of my life for a little bit.
Yeah, and Joey came back in, like, pointing out that, like, yeah, she broke up with you. But the thing that stuck out from Dawson, the thing that stuck out to me was when he said, there's a certain way to handle these things. I was like, is there, Dawson? Are you the expert on how one handles breakups? Because you're doing great.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like, well, you've never been broken up with, so I don't know where you're getting your rules from, but
Yeah, Dawson seems like the kind of guy where he just whatever he thinks the world should be, he just doesn't understand why everyone doesn't adhere to it.
mhm. Yeah.
So Joey essentially goes into full PR manager.
Yeah, so there's the public perception that people are gonna know we got broken up with, and also other guys, because she says, Jen's probably gonna move on, she's probably gonna start dating other guys, you're gonna see other guys going after her now that she's single, and she said something that was it started to turn into, is she talking about herself here? Because she's like, you have to act like you're not into her, or I don't know what she said. It was basically about something about waiting for someone and you can't force them to date you or something like that, where it's like I think she's kind of talking about her situation with Dawson.
Yeah, she gets to a point where she says, "Well, I'm no expert at this," and then proceeds to tell him what it's like to be her, of just pining and acting like she doesn't care in the hopes that
Yeah.
that will get him to like her.
And lastly, she foresees the fact that Jen is going to inevitably go to Dawson and be like, "Can we be friends?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Which which is the move if like you're especially with school, like you're going to keep seeing this person, so you got to try to make it seem like you're not on bad terms. Like that just makes life easier to not be on bad terms.
Yeah, and like she's not really asking for much because friend is such a blurry word. Like she's not saying, let's sit together at lunch every single day. It's kind of like it reminds me of how my the executives at the company I work for, apparently some VP decided we need to redesign the website, which could be a whole lot of work, but I don't know if they know what redesign means, or I don't know what the word redesign means to them. So it might just be like change and add a few images and they're going to call that a redesign. So with Jen, it might just be like, hey, can we be less weird and call each other friends?
Seems like something's going on with your workplace. You're like, it's like this drama at my job.
I mean, it's just I can't imagine what it's like to have respect for executives in corporate structures because I cannot muster it. I don't understand why we think the people furthest away from the work are best positioned to make choices about how the work is done. And that's all I'll say about that because I got rent to pay.
That lovely rent.
Mhm. But yeah, basically, she's even if she's asking you to be friends, that doesn't really come with much in the way of responsibilities or obligations.
Totally. So we get to see Mitch and Gail in this episode, which is cool because they just kind of come in and out. So they're in the kitchen. It's in the morning. Gail looks like she's dressed for work. Mitch is sitting reading the newspaper because we still don't know what the hell he does. And and the phone rings. Mitch picks up the phone, realizes it's for Gail, gives it to Gail. Gail hears who's speaking to her on the phone, seems a little awkward, but was like, "Yeah, we'll just talk about this when I get to work." Kept it short, hung
Mhm.
up. And I guess at first Mitch did not realize who it was.
He was like, "Oh, who was that? Sounds familiar."
Yeah, I thought he was instigating, but then like the look on his face when she says it's not whatever guy he guessed and then he realizes that it was Bob.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, okay." So, obviously, Mitch gets really upset.
That the man who slept with his wife is calling his home.
Yeah, he feels like I wouldn't say defending Bob, but she's like, "It's not that big of a deal. It was for work." All this stuff, and I know it's not her fault that he called her. It's like, she's trying to smooth over something she didn't really have control over. But it does feel like yeah, I guess she just doesn't wanna upset him, but at the same time, like, I think it's certain situations you just need to let him be upset and not, like I don't wanna use the word gaslight because everyone uses that word and it's kind of overly abused, but, like, I don't think it's okay to act like he doesn't have the right to feel how he feels when the man who cheated on with his wife calls his home.
Yeah, yeah. And I think in that situation, there's that step of not minimizing or dismissing the concern. But there's also, like, I don't know, I feel like in that situation, even if you don't feel like the concern is valid, you can just, like, say something about how you're going to handle this. Listen, I'll tell him not to call here anymore. Honestly, if I were Bob, and presumably she has mentioned that she is caught to Bob, who she works with every day, if I were Bob, I wouldn't call her house. But I'm not Bob.
So they leave on not a great note, but we then get to see Dawson runs into Jen in the school hall. Seems to be going to class. He's trying to like just say hi and bye to her basically because I guess he just does not know how to talk to her right now. And of course Jen like kind of calls him back over and seems to over explain herself, like I really value you and I want to keep like our relationship a friendship whatever. I don't know. She just said a lot of words and then
Yeah.
and then finally asks if her and Dawson can be friends. To which Dawson I guess said he needs to think about it because that's what he tells Pacey in the what I thought was a science class. I was so confused because there were, like, tanks of fish everywhere, and I'm like, "What class is this? Biology? Like, why are there goldfish?"
Yeah, we didn't have that many live animals in our high school.
Anyway, yeah, so Dawson is talking to Pacey, and Pacey starts giving him advice, which is probably not the best way to go. Honestly, like, any teenage boy should not take any other teenage boy's advice. Like, literally
Yeah.
anybody's better. Talk to a friend of yours that's a girl, talk to your parents, I don't know, someone older, like
A guy at a bus stop, anything.
yeah, anybody else. But so Pacey says like, "Oh, well, if you wanna get her back, like, the best thing to do is, like, act like you're over her, um, be distant with her, like,
Mhm.
show you don't care." And I'm like, "I don't know if that's the right way to go, man."
I don't know. Yeah, he's, talking with a lot of unearned authority. And that's when this perfectly nice girl, Mary Beth, comes up and says to Dawson, "We're getting our midterms back today," which to me, that seemed like an utterly unnecessary thing to say. Like, there's no reason to say that. So my thought was then, she obviously has a crush on Dawson. This will certainly come up again. But as the episode goes on, we later get reveals where I'm like, why would we later find out that my assumptions were not correct, which makes her coming up to talk to Dawson way weirder.
Yeah, it's not really explained. I mean, obviously they had to like introduce her before he just goes up and asks her out. But yeah, it's like we haven't heard of this girl before, and so we have no idea what her relationship is to Dawson. But like
Mhm.
later when we get to the cafeteria scene, it seems clear that they don't know each other that much. I don't know. I have no idea.
Mary Beth was just filling a role that they had to fill.
Yeah. Yeah. But I will say later down this episode, I'm like, I love Mary Beth. She's great. Can we just keep her?
She's level headed, and she eventually tells it like it is.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, the teacher comes in next and gives back the midterms, which I'm like, I don't think we had midterms in high school. That's like a college thing, right?
Yeah, I guess it depends on the school. I'm sure that there are high schools that do have that. Ours, we just more had like regular tests, and then we had a final for whatever they're letting us know this is an important test.
Definitely. So, as the teacher is giving back midterm tests, he says, "And I will need to see some people after class." And he acts like he's going to list off a number of names, but then he looks and he's like, Pacey, and well, I guess that's it. Just to make Pacey feel bad. Like, not
Mhm.
intentionally by the teacher, but how it's written is to like be like, yep, Pacey's not doing well compared to other people.
Yeah, yeah. And what we find out about this teacher as the episode goes on is he likes to have fun.
So he talks to Pacey after class and says he graded his test and seems disappointed with him. And apparently, he went to go check his test scores, standardized test scores, and he's like, "No, you're not stupid. So, like, why are you doing this? Why are you failing?"
Hmm.
But this seems like a good teacher. Like, he likes to have fun, but this teacher is checking his standardized test scores and says, like, "I know you're a lot smarter than this, so why are you failing?" And I'm just like, this teacher is really putting in a lot of effort, like, compared to most teachers, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean that clearly he like took a special interest and was like he probably like had a suspicion and then got it confirmed. Although yeah, it is quite I can't imagine that was all that easy to do. I mean, maybe everything was just in a paper file back then, but he's like, "Hey, there's no reason for you to score like a 32 or whatever it was on the midterm," which like even if you are just awake in class and never do anything else, you should be able to get at least a 50.
I don't know. You'd be surprised probably. I will say I appreciate this teacher like having some faith in Pacey because I know you always got straight A's, but I went through a time where I did not do well at school. And it's so easy to be written off by teachers and it just like convinces you to not try because they just assume like you can't you're never going to do well. And I find it's so great when teachers like even if the kid is being disruptive or even if the kid is failing or whatever, like I think it makes all the difference if you show them that like you have faith that they can turn it around, they can be different, even if they can't, you know? Because I think it's really damaging to act like a student's just dumb or like they're not worth even trying to help.
That's yeah, one teacher like taking an interest in you or like expecting better from you. Like people can't meet your expectations if you don't have any for them or if your expectations are terrible, that's probably what you'll end up seeing. So, that's yeah. Good guy teacher.
Yeah. I love teachers who are like that, where they're like just taking an interest in their students. That's nice.
Yeah, which, is hard since they often have 100 plus students, but
Yeah, I know. When teachers knew my name, I'm like, "You know my name?" So this teacher asks him to complete an extra credit project to help him get out of failing. He said, "I'll pass you by the skin of your teeth." So he seems down for this project. Then Joey walks in, and we assume it's probably not her because she's good at school. But then it's very clear that she is going to be his partner on this extra credit project. She goes, "Him?" And he goes, "Her?" And it's just kind of funny.
yeah, it's like, oh, this person I hang out with frequently. I hate them.
And they throw some insults at each other, like, "You never told me I'd be working with a repressed control freak." To which Joey says, like, "You never told me my grade was dependent on some remedial underachiever." I'm like, "This is mean."
And that was when I wrote down, this teacher is having fun because like he hears their complaints and goes, well, good luck.
Mhm. Okay, so next we see Dawson and Jen in the hall again. Dawson comes up to her and says, like, "Hey, I don't know why I was acting weird before. I'd love to be your friend." Basically taking Pacey's advice. And I guess he's kind of asking her if she wants to hang out that weekend. But then Jen's like, "I don't know if that's a good idea cuz like it's still very early." She says something to him which I'm like, you didn't need to." She admits that she's going on a date with Cliff.
Yeah, which just you have a date all you broke up 2 weeks ago telling someone you need to be alone.
Yeah, it is confusing, and, like, Dawson calls her out on that later in the episode. But, yeah, it's unfortunate because I am like, "Girl, I think you do need some time without any guys."
Yeah, and to be fair, she doesn't owe Dawson anything. She doesn't like she makes her own choices and Dawson doesn't get to like decide what's appropriate for her. But also, I'm with you where it's just like, girl, you need to just put this aspect of your life on the back burner.
Yeah, but I don't know, I've encountered people, not just women, but also men who, like, they just can't manage to spend some time alone, you know?
Yeah.
I call it monkey barring, like, going from relationship to relationship.
Yeah.
Which I've always seen as a red flag with guys I'm interested. When I find out that they kind of, like, do that, I'm like, "Oh, no."
It's hard for me to understand because I'm just like, no, I need to like really, really like you for me to even engage. And I feel like in the past it was more like this. It was more just like dating as a social activity,
Yeah.
just a thing to do. Whereas I'm just like, if that's, I would rather just hang out with my friends then. I would rather hang out with people I know that I like. But then again, I'll go to the same restaurants over and over again and not try anything. So.
I mean, I wish I had, like, the point of view that a date is, like, not that serious, but for me, I guess the anxiety of it all makes it serious.
Because there's so many people in life who seem to walk through the world with so little anxiety, and that must be nice.
And life just works out, which is crazy. I think if I, like, don't plan for every worst case scenario, that's like I'm gonna die or something.
Yeah, that's something, that's what therapy's for.
That's what Lexapro's for.
It's fine. But Dawson has the I think reasonable reaction of like you're going out with Cliff and it's just
Wait,
all the more go ahead.
before he says that, he just has, like, the weirdest look on his face for a second. He just pauses, and it's like, I don't know, his life is flashing before his eyes or something. He just looks vacant for, like, a second or 2.
He's like computing, like trying to integrate this with reality.
He clearly is trying to pretend like he's not bothered by that, and he's like, "Oh, no, actually, I'm relieved that you have a date 'cause, I have a date too, and it's also at the carnival."
Just digging the hole so deep, so fast.
Mhm. Yeah, Jen thinks this is a bad idea, and she says, "Well, me and Cliff can do something else, But he's like, "Oh, no, like, we should just do a double date." And she's hesitant for a second, and I'm like, "Girl, it's the worst idea in the world. Just say no."
Again, the theme of this entire season, just someone just say no, no, no.
Yeah. Dawson has kind of put himself in a big hole of lies, and we see him with Pacey again in the cafeteria. And Pacey starts giving another lesson. He's like, "Well, not only should you not act like you care that you got broken up with, you should date other people. I think it's a good idea for you to like go to the carnival on a double date with your ex-girlfriend. You just need to find like a girl to go with."
He points out Mary Beth, right? And at
Mhm.
that point, I was like, are we supposed to think that Mary Beth is like a loser? She's a very pretty girl. She doesn't have any obvious personality flaws.
No, it is not clear what they're trying to show her as. Like I don't think she's a loser by any means. Like I think maybe she's just not popular, which, like, our the friend group we are watching in this show doesn't seem like they're popular either, but, like, I
Yeah.
don't know, they just both run in different circles of unpopular people maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I assumed they were trying to portray her as like a loser because she was this like, oh, I've dug myself into this hole. She'll go with me. So I guess that's what it sort of suggested to me, but she seems a lot like Dawson and their crowd of like not popular, but like fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think why he preyed on her, which he actually says later when Joey, like, calls him out for him being kind of an asshole, but, they go after her, I think, not because she's, like, a loser, but she is so polite. Like, the whole time we see her in this episode, she's very polite, so maybe they're like, "Well, she'll go with you 'cause she's nice," and
Yeah, and I thought the midterm comment was supposed to be setting it up that she had a crush on him. So
Mhm. Yeah, and I think Pacey even says, like, "I think she has a crush on you." It's weird because it's like I could maybe see being really friendly with Dawson if he was, like, close to the guy she likes,
hmm
but he's not, like, because 'cause I've done that where, like, I may be interested in somebody, and I'm friends with someone they know, and I'm like, "I just need to hang out with that friend more."
yeah, and then through osmosis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dawson goes over to Mary Beth. She's sitting alone at a table in the cafeteria and asks her out. And Mary Beth is like, "Oh, um, seems to have reservations," and explains like, "Look, I know you just broke up with Jen, and like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to like get in the middle of things, and I don't really want to like, I just don't think this is gonna work out."
Yeah, like I just want to like check here. This seems like a rebound situation and maybe not a great idea, so
Hmm.
maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, but Dawson's like, "No, I'm totally over her. I'm totally ready to move on. Totally ready to date." And Mary Beth is like, "I mean, I guess."
She's like, I guess let's go to the carnival.
Okay, so next we get to see this experiment or assignment or whatever the hell that Pacey and Joey are doing in the marine biology class. I think they finally explain it's for marine biology, which I'm like, I don't think that's a class in most high schools. That's really specific.
Yeah. No, most high schools do not have a marine biology class.
Maybe it's because they live near the creek. I don't know.
Slash the ocean, I think, as well. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so Casey seems bored of the whole situation while Joey's doing something with the tank of snails, and it is explained to us that the assignment is like to change the conditions of the tank to make the snails happy because when they're happy, they mate more.
Yeah.
And yeah, something like that.
But they're also genderless or sexless so that they don't need like a male and a female, so their
Mhm.
form of reproduction is like I don't know. So but yeah, they're supposed to make the snails have babies.
Yes. And Pacey just jokes like, "Oh, well, if that's all we need to do to make them reproduce, like, let's just buy them a couple drinks and turn off the light." Cute. Sure. But Joey's like, "Do you are you like, why are you not taking this seriously? Like, are you wanting to go to summer school?" And weirdly, like, Pacey passes judgment and says like, "Oh, only morons go to summer school." And I'm like,
But you're failing.
"Yes."
You're f you're failing. There's a cause and effect. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like a kind of classic case of someone being like, I don't know, just not connecting the dots. And I was so anxious about it that it's so interesting to me people who just like didn't care and didn't pay attention to their grades. I was
Mhm.
like, surely if I get perfect grades, then I will have value as a human and the deep chasm of sadness inside me will be full.
Mhm. I actually went to summer school between 8th and ninth grade right before I entered high school, but not because I was doing bad in school. They were like, "Hey, if you want to come for summer, you can get some classes done.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do them later in your high school time." So I was such a dork. I went to summer school to take classes like optionally.
No, that's yeah, no, the that's a thing when you're trying to like figure out your schedule and like things like I don't know, you take a PE class in your like arts class that you need to graduate. I don't know.
I took like a health class and then I don't even remember the other thing I took, but
Mhm.
yeah. So where are we? Okay, so yeah, they basically established that Pacey and Joey are working on this project together and they're fighting about it. And, just generally kind of getting on each other's nerves.
Yeah.
And then we see Dawson in his bedroom, painting an action figure. And I'm like, this looks really serious. He's got like a magnifying glass. He's got like,
Mhm. Well, I know people who play Dungeons and Dragons and they have little things that like little teeny tiny action figures that they call miniatures and a lot of people do hand paint them.
Mhm,
But for Dawson's purposes, it's probably for like landscape sets like instead of, if you can't
fly over.
yeah, you can like build a castle model and then take
Mhm.
movie of that.
Yes. So Mitch comes into Dawson's room and asks if anyone called that I should know about. Dawson's like, no, like I leave your messages on the paper pad. What? This is a weird question." And then Mitch says, I'm not asking if anyone called me. I'm asking if anyone called I should know about." Which basically means like he does not have trust in his wife, that he's going to his kid to like ask these questions is just a
Yeah.
real bad time.
Yeah, like is Bob or someone else calling your mom that I should know about? And that just you're basically asking your son to spy on your wife. And it's just leave Dawson out of this, man.
Mhm.
And also his demeanor and the way he asks is very like not aggressive but like very stern, almost
Mhm.
like Dawson should know what he's talking about. And it's like no, your 15-year-old, 16-year-old should not know the intricacies of how you're trying to repair your marriage following infidelity. Leave him alone.
Yeah, it's sad to see the look on Dawson's face when he realizes what his dad is asking him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "No, he didn't call. Bob did not call." And Mitch suddenly looks relieved and acts like, "Okay," like it was a fine question to ask his son, and thanks him and leaves. And Dawson's just like, "Uh-huh." Okay, so then we're back in the classroom with Joey and Pacey. The snails are dead. Joey's freaking out. um, she says something along the lines of like, yesterday we had a science project. Now we have like 2/3 of a charm bracelet, which made me laugh.
Yeah, yeah, the snail shells. And it's yeah, they come back to find the snails are dead. And it's Joey's trying to figure out like why, and then Pacey tells her his attempt to get the snails to reproduce.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing he says is he put a bunch of snails together because he thought that would somehow help. Like she said, "Are you were making a snail menage a trois?" Um,
Yeah.
And then she had to say, like, they're single sex, like, they don't need to be around each other to reproduce. And he says, like, "Well, I would have remembered if I listened to whatever you talk about." Like, okay.
Yeah, and then she points out and like, I don't know if this is a thing. I guess it must be a thing, but she's like, so yeah, the snail you put in there, that was a carnivorous snail? Like a snail that eats other snails?
Mhm.
Which, like, impressed that they have a marine biology class, impressed that they have all these aquariums, impressed that they have multiple types of snails. Just like a well-funded school district.
I mean, it is coastal, so there probably is a lot of rich people there. It was also the '90s. I think the '90s had more school funding. They leave it there where they're just like, "What are we gonna do?"
Oh no!
And so that we go to Joey's house, and she's with Dawson, and they seem to be gathering up materials for her and Pacey to go out on the creek and look for snails. But during that time, Joey's like, "I'm disappointed in you for using Mary Beth."
Hmm.
And he admits, he's like, "Yeah, no, I know. I'm guilty of that and I'm doing something wrong, but I like can't stop myself basically."
Maybe I'm like too repressed and too self-controlled and too focused on delayed gratification, but I have a lot of I have a hard time holding space and giving grace to people who are just like, I couldn't help it, the thing that I did. And I was like, no, you could. But you didn't. You chose not to.
Yeah, I feel the same way, which maybe is something to do with us feeling like we need to be perfect.
Yep.
Because, like, I have people who in my life who sometimes will be self-destructive, and I'm like, "But why? Like, is that gonna help you? Like, why are you punishing it?" Like, it's just why would you dig a hole your hole deeper? Anyway, I've realized I have a lot of resentment towards people who feel like they can make mistakes, and I don't know how to fix that.
I often do too. I don't know how to fix it either.
I'm like, "Of course you you don't feel like you think it's fine to, like, fuck up this huge thing or, like, blow up on this person or." And I'm just dumbfounded because 'cause I'm like, "I just would never do this stuff." Like, I
Yeah. Like it just doesn't compute.
doesn't make sense to. But a lot of people like to kinda feel their feelings.
Yeah, a lot of yeah. We can take it offline.
That's what this podcast is about, man, talking about how this story relates to the real world and I guess us.
Yeah, just it for me and you, it just felt like there wasn't a lot of space to make mistakes, and or yeah, there wasn't a lot of room for us to be self-destructive and like dumb kids.
Yeah.
So we were smart kids, and look where that got us.
Neither of us own homes.
I mean, that's not really a choices thing. That's just a lack of familial wealth.
And living in California.
Hmm. Yeah, there we go. We brought California back. It had been a few episodes.
Sorry.
No, I'm.
I'm apologizing to them.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
I liked Joey's comment of like, just come up with a reason why you can't go. Say you have to stay in to wash your hair.
Yeah, he does have luscious hair. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, you can just say, like, I'm sick. You can,
You can go back on that.
yeah, even if you're not gonna, like, out and out do the right thing, you can do a less wrong thing.
Hmm.
But then as the wrap up, Dawson's like, oh man, I kind of wish I were just I wish I was just going to the carnival with you. And in the most forward Joey has ever been on the show, in the most, like, playing with her feelings that it seems she's capable of being, she says, yeah, I do too.
I know, it was a bit surprising. Like she didn't say it sarcastically. She said it like genuinely.
Yeah, she's like, I would like to go to the carnival with you, but we're not doing that.
Yeah, so Joey's like, "Yeah, I can't go because I gotta go get some snails."
Yeah.
So they go next to the carnival, and it's interesting because, like, as they're panning down from the sky down to Dawson, they cross over like a sign that says like Amusements of Rochester, and I'm like, are they in Rochester?
No,
Are they is Rochester coming to them?
I don't know. It's probably just the name of the company. But it reminded me At least one year in high school, they set up a carnival like out on the like back fields, like on
Hmm.
school property. Did
Okay.
that ever? Okay, I just remember I went.
Maybe I didn't go if they did.
Okay, this might have been like my senior year, and I remember I went with some friends, and all that I really remember is that we got on this big rickety carnival ride, and one of my friends in a different like cart or whatever it was threw up,
Oh,
and I was in one of the carts behind him, got his throw up on me.
oh, I think I remember that story that you have.
Yep, and then eventually I went home.
Oh, eventually, I was gonna say, then did you just go home?
I don't remember, but I did eventually go home. But I like didn't want to make him feel bad because like
Yeah.
he hadn't thrown up on purpose, but it was so that is what high school carnival means to me.
I've gone to, like, county fairs and stuff, and I look at the carnival rides, and I'm like, "I don't wanna die today." Like, I don't it's too Final Destination for me.
Yeah, when you think about how they have to dismantle and reassemble them, that's a little concerning.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, these people aren't engineers. Not saying that, like, only a really smart college degree person could do it, but it's just like, okay, everyone did their best, right? Everyone checked they did everything right.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like I'm sure I just imagine it's a lot harder to track injuries, that kind of data for something like a traveling carnival. Like if
Mhm.
someone gets hurt in Six Flags, they're gonna have a record of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we see Dawson waiting up for Mary Beth, and she comes around and says that he looks really nice. She's like, "Can I tell you that you look really nice?" And he said, "Oh, you look nice too." And then she's like, "Oh, you don't need to say that," and just comes off really nervous, which is why I'm kind of like, "Do you like Dawson?" Or maybe she's just socially awkward. I don't know. So then Jen and Cliff show up, and you can tell from Mary Beth's face that she's blindsided. She's like, "Oh."
Yeah, that seemed like a key bit of information, Dawson. Like even if you're going to kind of deceive her onto a date, you should at least tell her it's a double date and a double date with your ex, especially when she brought up being over your ex in the very first conversation. There were many opportunities here, Dawson.
Yeah, and so Mary Beth pulls him aside and is like, "I need to talk to you."
And I'm like, go marry Beth.
Yeah, and she exactly knows what he's trying to do. She's like, "This is a really bad idea. Like, obviously you're hung up on her, and, like, I don't wanna be a part of this, and I also" it seems like she feels betrayed or,
Yeah.
lied to. And Dawson makes up a story. We don't hear that story right now, but he makes up a story, like, he's like, "Well, let me explain," or something, and
Yeah,
they
let me
cut
tell
away.
you the truth.
Yeah. And so Joey and Pacey are, on a boat, I guess looking for snails, uh, complaining about having to spend their Saturday together, and Pacey asks her why, like, she's doing this assignment, assuming that she got a bad grade.
Mhm.
But Joey deflects, like, you could assume that maybe she did get a bad grade, but she's embarrassed to talk about it. We don't really get an answer. She's just like, "Let's not talk right now."
Yeah, it's very clearly like a redirection of like, there's some kind of story here, but she doesn't want to talk about it.
Hmm. And so then we hop back to Dawson and Mary Beth, and Mary Beth is explaining or like re-saying what Dawson had told her, which is that Jen went on this date with Cliff, but didn't want to be alone with him because it was a first date. So Dawson very kindly decided to go on a double date to like help her out.
Ugh. God, to tell that story, you have to have some kind of belief that they will believe it and you'll get away with it. Don't you? Like that's what I would assume is that you tell a lie, you only tell a lie because you have some reasonable assumption that you'll get away with telling it.
Hmm. It's kind of like Going back to, well, actually, I think it was, like, The Ultimatum or something. I was watching Trixie and Katya's, like, I Like to Watch for The Ultimatum,
Yep.
which, for fans is, like, 2 drag queens paid by Netflix to, like, kinda talk crap and also make jokes about their shows, and it's free on YouTube. Anyway,
Yes.
um, but, like, a lot of those dating reality shows, like, people are cheating on each other, and it's on camera, but, like, they deny cheating on them, and I'm like, "They're gonna watch the show. Like, why are
Yeah.
you lying?"
It's crazy. I mean, then again, we are living in a time when people will see clear video footage of crimes by state agents and say, no, things are deteriorating over here in the United States.
Yeah. Like, "Oh, no, that girl wasn't fucking that guy. She was just, like, wiping or giving him a blowjob." Sorry. I don't know. I'm detouring, but it's like, "No, she was just, like, wiping his pants off." Like
Yeah, yeah. They were doing calisthenics. They weren't having sex. That's what that noise was.
Yes. They're doing gymnastics on the other side of the door.
Yeah. But these are also, I think the person who would tell that kind of lie of like knowing you're being recorded, this is probably a person who has told many lies before and has been able to bend reality. Like we know by now that if you say something over and over and over again, there are a lot of people who will just come to believe it or come to accept it or just give in.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking of those like dating shows. I imagine the people denying cheating even when it's on camera, those are the kind of people who will wear their partners down until they have completely scrubbed reality.
Mhm. Which is why I can't watch those shows too much. They make me sad.
Yeah, it's a big bummer. I'd rather watch Trixie Mattel and Katya talk about it on YouTube.
Mhm. And joke about how crazy the people are.
Yeah.
All right, that's the story Mary Beth believes right now. And so next we see Pacey and Joey out looking for snails, and basically Pacey didn't tie up the boat and is floating away.
The boat's going bye-bye.
Yes.
And listen, I don't live on a creek. I don't row boats often, but I know you that it's a bad idea to just let the boat sit there on water.
Mhm. Well, they mentioned something about the tide getting high, so it's possible he, like, pulled it out of the water a little bit, but then the water
Mm.
raised up, so then it went back into the water.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is just the like, God, Pacey, you don't do anything right.
Yeah, that's, kind of a reoccurring theme, or that's how people perceive him sometimes. It's like
Yeah, and it's probably like you were talking about with the teachers that when people come to expect that from you and they don't expect any better, then that's what a kid will deliver.
yeah, it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, we're back at the carnival, and Dawson sees Cliff playing some carnival game, and he was giving Jen like a some kind of stuffed animal that he won her. And Dawson's like, "Well, I'm gonna go over there," and they start fighting again. Well, not fighting because Cliff was being cool for a while, but like they're sort of
Competing.
measuring up to each other, playing this game where you knock over bottles with a ball.
Yeah, and like after the first round, Mary Beth concisely sums it up to Jen and is like, "What a pissing contest."
Mhm. So they're kind of playing against each other, and Dawson knocks down all his pins before Cliff, and is very excited about it.
Yeah, is too excited for the context.
Yeah, and so the carnival guy at a game operator gave him like a stuffed animal that he won. And he's like, "So who's the lucky lady?" And Dawson immediately turns towards Jen and then realizes what he's doing, looks back at Mary Beth and is like, "So we need to talk."
Oh my god, what a douchebag!
I know.
This is your nice guy? Ugh, like for so many reasons, it's like you were on the date with her, she's on the date with someone else, you broke up, you know everyone's looking at you. Like, what is wrong with you?
It's the same situation of when he went to the dance and just thought, like, everything he was doing was, like, not crazy.
Yeah. And he's like, "We need to talk." And I was like, "About what? Are you now gonna tell her some third lie? Or are you gonna tell her the truth? Or"
Yeah. So, Joey and Pacey are in the crick.
Yep, yep, like, up to their waists in the crick,
Yes.
which apparently it is cold.
Yeah. And, Joey's like, "Well, you killed the snails, and I should have known I wouldn't be far behind."
Yeah, she's like, "I never stood a chance like those snails."
And she calls him dumb, and he says, "It's no wonder or it's so weird that your personality can't get you dates."
And she says, "It's weird that yours can," and I was like, "Do they? Does it?" His only date was a 36-year-old teacher that ruined her own life. And this is, by the way, as they're getting out of the creek. They're, like, coming out, they're, like, sopping wet, they're going back to what presumably is Pacey or Pacey's family's truck.
And Pacey's like, "Okay, so take off your clothes, take off your wet clothes, and here's a blanket." And Joey's like, "I'm sorry, what?" You know, she's fighting him, but he's like, "I'm not doing this for my entertainment. I'm doing this so you, like, don't get pneumonia."
Yeah.
And she was like, Fine." And this whole scene feels very, like, rom-com-y.
Yeah, and the song.
The song is weird and bad, and I'm pretty sure it was dubbed. Like, I hope that's not the original song.
It's just, like, this weird, like, mid-tempo, rocky, like, trying to be sexy song, and it's just like, "These are kids, this is bad, I hate it."
Anyway, so they get on either side of the truck, and they're changing and just yelling at each other about, like, being annoyed, I guess.
Yeah.
And Pacey, like, finishes putting on his clothes, gets into the truck to start the truck, I guess. But
Mm.
then he looks over at the side mirror, the passenger side mirror.
Yeah, and, like, we don't see anything, and maybe Pacey doesn't either. It's like, it's a television show, they can't
Yeah.
show anything.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, but especially with the song, that felt weird.
Mhm.
Just that was weird. Yeah, it's clear that this is supposed to be kind of a turning point of based on the cinematography and the music and everything. It's clear that this is supposed to be
Pacey's smile.
Yeah, it's clear that this is like a turning point for Pacey or Pacey seeing Joey in a new light.
Mhm. All they needed to do was spend a Saturday together in the crick and love will bloom.
Get stranded in the water and everything works out.
Mhm. Yeah, so he's all smiley when she gets in the car. I think it's somewhere between the lines of, like, he didn't oogle at her, but he's, like, kinda like, "Oh, it's my little secret," and, like, maybe I'm kind of into her, and that's also my little secret.
Yeah.
And Joey's like, "What's with the smile?" And she's just very guarded,
Hmm.
like she always is.
Yeah.
And Pacey says, like, "When you loosen up, you're not that bad. In fact, like you're maybe even fun."
Yeah.
To which she smiles and like I don't know, brushes it off, but also like I guess feels like not as adversarial.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Take me home, Jeeves."
Yeah, which I was like, "What is that?" And I guess it was a TV show. I don't know who Daisy is though. I tried looking it up and then I got tired.
I can handle that one. So Jeeves, I guess, is a TV show about a rich person with a chauffeur. Miss Daisy, there was a movie called Driving Miss Daisy, which isn't entirely applicable here because the crux of the story is that there's a rich old white lady being driven around by a black man. And I'm not sure what time period it is, probably the 60s or 70s. And she's Miss Daisy, and he's driving her around, and it's how they grow to appreciate each other despite racism. So it's kind of a weird choice for Pacey and Joey, but
Yeah, would these kids know those references? I don't know.
I think the movie came out in like the 90s or
Oh.
maybe the 80s. Yeah, so the setting was further back, but The movie was
Mhm.
relatively recent, I think.
Yeah. We are back at the carnival, but Mary Beth is sitting on the trunk of, I guess, her car in the parking lot with some popcorn, just, eating her feelings, I guess.
Just being like, well, at least I got some popcorn out of it.
hmm I mean, if you go to a carnival, you either got to get cotton candy or a funnel cake. It's a requirement.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't like cotton candy, so.
Okay, good to know. I did not know that about you. Anyway, so Dawson comes up to Mary Beth and apologizes for his behavior and feels bad, like, maybe she liked him and that really hurt her or something. But then Mary Beth is like, I like you, but I don't like you.
Mhm.
Like, you're a little too neurotic, which was very funny.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, and she's like, I felt sorry for you, and I didn't really have anything to do this weekend anyway. And Dawson's like, okay, so like, why are you here? To which Mary Beth says, do you ever notice that Cliff's eyes smile when he talks to you?
And, like, honestly, I can kinda see it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's cute. He looks way too old to be a high schooler, but yeah, he's cute.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, "Oh, she likes Cliff," and then Dawson, I'm not sure why, but he's like, "You like Cliff?" It's just like, "Yep, you're both screwed."
Yeah, yeah. And she's sad because she realizes like that he has no interest in her.
Yeah,
Um
he's really interested in Jen.
yes, yeah. And says that they're into each other and Dawson's like, "They are?" It's like, "Yeah, man."
Yeah, you're so perceptive, Dawson.
So they both sulk together and eat popcorn in the parking lot. But then they kind of have this idea of like, all right, well, we're here and we both kind of want to do the same thing because we both have interests in the like same couple.
Mhm.
Mary Beth like takes Cliff onto the Ferris wheel. They were waiting in line and Mary Beth kind of pulls him on with
Yeah,
her.
drags him on. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's too nice to be like, "No." So he's just
Yeah.
like, okay." So that leaves, Jen and Dawson to a, seat, I don't know what they call those things, but to a thing on the car on the Ferris wheel.
A gondola or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which if I was Jen, I'd be like, I'll ride alone." Um,
Yeah, I'll be like, "Oh, I need a funnel cake."
I have to go to the bathroom. Okay, so we're gonna see that fallout. But
Yeah.
we go to see Joey and Pacey at Joey's house, like changing into clothes to get warm and everything.
Mhm.
And Pacey asks again about her midterm and says like I got like a 32 or whatever. And starts
Guessing her score.
he starts asking her like yeah, he starts guessing her score. And then she's like, it's a 98. And he's like, is it a 9 or is it an 8?
Yeah. Oh, buddy. But no, she got almost an A+. plus.
Yeah, yeah. And he looks at her like, "What? Why? What?" And she
Yeah.
explains to him like, "Well, look at my life. I want something better for myself. I want to be able to get out of here, and I have no money, so I have to get a college scholarship. Like that's the only way out of here." So she feels a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone feels a lot of pressure if they're trying to get into college, but like she's hoping that, like, she can get a full ride because she doesn't have money. But granted, I will say, I think FAFSA existed back then, so if she was poor enough, she probably would have gotten some money, but, we're assuming I don't know, there's no money.
Yeah, she doesn't have any, and also we do not educate kids on how to get funding.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, I remember, like, doing the FAFSA, and they're like, "Alright, so you're gonna need loans, and here's like you're gonna take out 10 grand because they would always make the parents take out more. They're like, well, we don't really trust you, but we're gonna give you 10 grand. And like, I remember getting loans and being like the money's kind of like not real.
Yeah,
Like,
because you're 17 years old, And you've been told your whole life that if you go to college, you'll get a good job and live a happy, prosperous life.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is so inconceivable and irresponsible the way that we do college and funding college in the United States.
Anyway, yeah, but I just remember, like, how important it felt to have money to go to school, and then also, like, I don't know, the feeling of, "Well, I have to do this. I have to take
Yeah,
these loans
yeah.
out. What other option do I have?" Which trade school, community college. I mean,
Yes,
there
these are great, but in suburban communities like we grew up in, that was seen as like lesser than, which it is absolutely not to anybody listening. Learn a trade, join a union.
yeah. Do a job that will always be needed.
Yeah, sitting at a desk all day sucks.
It does. I mean, I always think, "Well, it's gonna pay off when I get old and I can't move," and I'm like, "The reason why I'm not gonna be able to move is because I sit at a desk all day."
Yeah, yeah.
Exercise, it's important.
And yeah. And well, and they just make it so that like it drives me nuts when like older people are like, "Well, work your way through." No, 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 no. You can't. You cannot work your way through college now. You can't do it. Because I did it. I worked like 3 out of the 4 years I had a job. I had multiple jobs at some points. I had scholarships. I still left with debt. Like you cannot work your way through school anymore.
Mhm. Unless you're a stripper, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, honestly.
Unless you're making a lot of money with, some kind of job that doesn't require a degree.
Yeah, yeah, because they don't raise minimum wage in the United States, and they stopped funding universities, so the tuition has gone up massively.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because Ronald Reagan didn't want an educated proletariat!
It's all repeating. Anyway, we understand Joey's pain, but she is putting herself, like, under way too much pressure.
Yeah.
There's only so much control you can have, you know?
Well, and that kind of it just occurred to me that maybe that's part of her frustration with Pacey is like she's working so hard, doing everything she can to like try to make her life better, whereas this guy is just fucking around and like not taking any responsibility, not trying to do anything, and just takes for granted that things will be fine.
Yeah. He's floating through life. Anyway, so Pacey hears all this, and he does seem to have like sympathy for Joey. He's like, you're gonna get out of here. Like you're gonna get move on to something better. You're gonna have something better. I'll still be here tending bar or pumping gas.
Yeah, and it was interesting to hear them talk about like getting out. I was like, is Cape Side that bad a place, or is maybe it's just you? That's what every high school kid thinks is like, I want to get out of here.
Yeah, we don't really see it, but like she in the first episode, she complained about like how people treated her family, and she has all this history that people know about. So, and it's a small town, so maybe there's that. And like, maybe she just I don't know if it's ego per se, but it's like maybe she just thinks she's destined for something greater, you know? Not that it's a
Hmm.
bad
Yeah.
place, but just like I want more than this and like a small town can't give me the things I want.
Yeah, and especially considering all the turmoil she's gone through there and the way that she feels she's treated by the town, like she specifically has a good reason to want to get out.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, we didn't grow up in, like, a small town, but even I was like, "I can't wait to get out of here." And honestly, I look back and I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, we didn't like, politically, we didn't align with a ton of people there." But, like, I don't know, growing up, it made me hate suburbia. And I guess that's, like, a jaded, kinda privileged thing to have, but it's like, I wanna be able to hang out with people I know, and I don't wanna have an HOA, and I
Yeah, and and it just the way that suburbia is designed is to keep you all in your little boxes and not engaging with each other and not building community.
Mhm. Yeah, Pacey is kind of consoling her, and she said, she comes out and says, "Well, you'll get out of here too." Like, I don't know if it's just to be
Hmm.
nice or just like maybe she does have some kind of faith he's gonna like do something else, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he makes the joke when she says you'll get out too. He's like, "Yeah, if the circus is hiring."
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, and then he says something sweet. He's like, "But I wouldn't bet against that Potter girl."
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah. Like, I believe in you. All right, so Jen and Dawson.
Jen and Dawson, because Mary Beth pulled Cliff onto the Ferris wheel. Now Jen and Dawson are on the Ferris wheel together. And dear God, just leave her alone, Dawson. Leave her alone.
It stops, which I'm like, well, it does stop. People have to get on and off. But
Yeah.
it does stop for a long time. And we then see, like, it's very awkward between the two carts or whatever, gondolas, whatever. And
Hmm.
Beth is sitting silently with Cliff. Clearly, they don't have anything to say to each other. So then she says,
Hmm.
you know, something that I find so interesting is that the word flammable and inflammable mean the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. And that's maybe Mary Beth realizing, oh, when I'm actually alone with him and try to talk to him, this is torture.
Mhm. I've had that situation where um this was years ago, but I had the opportunity to date someone. Like, we weren't, it wasn't clear he was into me, but we were just spending a lot of time together because I had just moved to where I live now, and I didn't really know anyone, and I actually knew him from college and whatever. And
Mhm.
I was like on paper, this would make a lot of sense. Like,
Yeah.
you know, some situations where you're like, on paper, I it would make a lot of sense for me to like maybe pursue a relationship with this person, but then when you talk to them, there's just like such a disconnect. Yeah, we just don't. I I don't know
You
what
don't
to
click.
say, talk about with you, you know.
Yeah.
So I've definitely felt that, and it is a good realization to have sometimes if you do actually have a crush on someone to be like, well, do I actually enjoy their company or do I just like to look at them? We see Dawson and Jen. Jen clearly looking uncomfortable. Dawson asks about Cliff and like how the date's going and whatever. And Jen's like, look, it's only a date. And I really don't want to talk about this with you anymore.
Yeah.
And then she says something along the lines of, like, I want to retract our friendship offer. Like, you know, in a way where it seems like I just think it's too soon and I think we shouldn't be around each other right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she says to him, like, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he resorts to doing something he's done before, which is kind of calling her a slut in a way. He says, well,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not sure you have time for me with with your hectic dating schedule.
Yeah, he just goes into this soliloquy, this
Mhm.
rant, and it's just so leave her alone. It
Yeah.
is just disgusting to watch him go on, and then I
Mhm.
really it's a pet peeve of mine when people are like, "No, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Prove me I'm wrong." I was like, "No. I don't have to tell you anything. I don't have to prove anything to you. You're just being nuts."
Mhm. Yeah, so he's calling her out like of like, "Oh, I thought you wanted to be alone, like, you know, I thought you were tired of men, and turns out you're just tired of me." And I'm like, "God, Jesus." Like,
I would be.
yeah.
I'm tired of you.
I'm like, he's like kind of being scary in this episode where I'm
Yeah.
like possessive, but like angry for rejection. And I'm like, this is like kind of I mean, I know people use throw their word around a lot, but like once again, he's kind of being like incel. You know what I mean? Taking it out on her that their relationship is over and shaming her about being with other guys.
He feels entitled to an explanation, a full explanation. He feels entitled to like police her actions right now, and it's just it was so gross to watch.
Yeah. Jen looks like she's about to cry.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking, I'm like, the people who are stuck on the Ferris wheel with them,
Oh my god.
okay, those people are going through something.
Yeah, like the people behind them in the Ferris wheel are just like seeing them go at it, and they're like, "Oh shit." Which, like, honestly, watching two other people fight could be a fun date activity if it's not like a scary fight. If it's like a just bickering fight, but that seemed like a bad time. That was just like a bad time
Mm-mm.
fight that wouldn't be enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, he's saying like, I'm being the cliche ex-boyfriend. Why would you allow me to come? Like blaming it on her kind of
Yeah.
and saying like, do you need me as much as I need you?
Ugh.
Yeah, and then like the Ferris wheel starts up again, and that's kind of the end of the conversation. So, um, it was interesting. Like, I guess that was like probably the only way at the carnival they could force these two to not be able to leave each other.
Yeah. On a ride that, like, they could conceivably talk to each other on.
hmm That too. So after that, Dawson's sulking on a bench, and there's like a sad carousel like montage
Oh my
thing.
gosh. Poignant carousel. A lot of poignant carousel in this episode.
Yeah. It's like, all right, they're really trying to be cinematic. He's sitting on the bench, and Joey and Pacey show up, and Dawson's surprised to see them there. Pacey asks to talk to Dawson alone.
Yeah.
Pacey asks about Dawson's night, and Dawson's like, it's pretty much terrible, and
Mhm.
asks Pacey how his night was, and he's like, actually, not so bad.
Yeah.
And he asks permission to pursue Joey, which, like, yeah,
Yay, cute.
maybe something good for Joey's happening.
Yeah, and at the same time, I'm also like, I mean, I guess that's nice of you, Pacey, but like, again, nobody owes Dawson an explanation.
Mhm.
Dawson doesn't, like, this is not about you.
Mhm. Now it's kind of different, like, if it's your friend and you're interested in, like, their ex-girlfriend, like, someone they actually romantically pursued. But
Mhm.
for some reason, which Pacey kind of explains, it's like he feels the need to ask permission from Dawson because even though they've not really dated, there is some uh stuff going on there. I think he said like
There's subtext.
yeah, the tortured subtext between you two.
Yeah.
And yeah, Pacey says like, I stopped disliking her so much and now I sort of like her. And Dawson is just in full denial. He's like, "As a friend, right?" And he's like, "Well, at first."
Yeah. Pacey's being real patient.
Yeah, and, Dawson, like, laughs at him and says, like, "You guys are enemies, like, this makes no sense," and, feels like he needs an explanation of, like, why is this happening now? Why like, this is just I can't believe it. And
Mhm.
Pacey's really cool about saying, like, well, I know you have this whole situation with her, and I just don't want to step on any toes, so I'm asking you. And at first, Dawson's like thinking about it. He's like, well, you're my best friend, and she's my best friend, and that's great. Yeah, I want guys to be happy. The best thing, my two friends kissing, which is
Mhm.
really weird to say. Um,
Yeah.
and he says, like, yeah, no, I'm cool with it. And Pacey's like, "Okay," and starts walking away, and then Dawson just, like, has this moment where he's like, "Actually, no, no, I'm not okay with this."
Yeah.
And then Pacey's just, like, turns around kind of exacer ex what's the word?
Exasperatedly.
Yes. Thank you.
For all listeners at home, exasperate is to make someone like kind of frustrated and roll their eyes. Exacerbate is to make a situation worse or more pointed.
Yeah. It's too many syllables. Anyway.
Yep, that's a vocabulary lesson with Allison today.
Yeah, so Pacey turns around just like, "Okay, like, what?" And then Dawson switches back, and he's like, "Actually, you know what? I'm totally fine with it. I just had a momentary lapse." And Pacey once again is being very kind, and he's like, "Are you sure?" And
Yeah.
Dawson's like, "Yeah, yeah, no, I'm totally sure." So Pacey walks away. Dawson's standing at the carousel, and it's just a sad carousel vibe. And he's standing there just all alone while everyone else is like, you know, having relationships with people that aren't toxic, at least yet. So
Probably. Yeah.
Jen and Cliff, and then maybe Pacey and Joey. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, then Pacey drops Joey off at her house, and Pacey asks her to hang out more. He's like, "Yeah, I had a good time tonight. Like, we want to hang out more." And she's like, why do you want to hang out more? Like, kind
Yeah.
of,
She's like, "Well, what do you
yeah,
mean?"
what do you mean? And then he's like, "Oh, well," and then he just kisses her.
Yeah, and she, in the way that Joey does when anything interpersonal happens, Joey kind of short circuits,
Yeah.
which like same girl, same. I identify. Uh
Yeah, she pushes him away, asks why, is just like dumbfounded, and he's like, "Well, I had a good time today, and I was confused, surprised, and attracted." Ooh.
yeah.
And he said, "You?" And Joey kind of pauses and says, "Well, confused and surprised."
Yeah, and clearly leaves out the attracted, and so
Mhm.
that's kind of what tells Pacey. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is
Yeah.
nope, not happening."
Yeah. And I think it's Pacey who kind of apologizes, and he's like, "Yeah, no, it's okay. I can deal with this rejection." And Joey says goodnight and also like says to him, "I did have a nice time today." And she grabs his forearm, which is interesting when she says that. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know if it kind of means like she's maybe there's something buried underneath, or if it's like just trying to friend zone him, like, "Hey, I'm touching your arm. I'm not gonna hug you, or I'm doing like kind
Mhm.
of the least physical thing I can do." So I
Yeah.
don't know if it's a consolation or whatever, but when she does it, Pacey does like kind of glance down.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just painful and awkward. Um, she goes up to her porch to like go inside, and Pacey calls her back and is like, "If you had kissed me back, you would have been thinking about someone else, right?"
Tortured subtext.
Yes. And Joey kind of looks guilty and turns around and leaves. She doesn't say a word. I'm like, is Pacey mean for calling that out? But I'm like, I don't know.
I think he's just asking for literally anyone else to say how they feel.
Yeah.
Like he's all but asking her, "So you like Dawson?"
Yeah.
That's
Like,
the
is
thing,
that the
right?
reason, kind of? Is that the reason, like, you're,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would have been better if he said that more clearly, but
Hmm.
like,
Yeah. He said it in like an accusation kind of way, but not in like a angry, mean way. He was just like, kind of seems like he's disappointed in the whole thing.
yeah, I didn't feel like it was like out of line though.
Mm-mm. No. He wasn't like pestering her for an answer like Dawson was with Jen.
Yeah, of the two. Jeez.
So Dawson is sulking on his bed for a moment, and then he jumps up and seems like he's going to leave somewhere. And he comes downstairs, and the phone's just ringing and ringing and ringing. And he looks and sees Gail and Mitch like holding each other in the kitchen.
Yeah, like, and I wrote down, did I miss something? Was there like a scene in between here that like got cut for time? Because I just didn't get
It's possible.
it. Didn't they did not really set up this ending with Mitch and Gale.
Mhm. Yeah, because last we left off, like Mitch seemed still very suspicious of her. But I guess the assumption is that Bob is calling and she's not answering the phone and he's not answering the phone and they're like quote unquote choosing each other or something. And I'm like, wait, is Bob being like not assault? What's the word where you just keep bothering somebody?
Stalker,
Yes. Like
harassing.
harassing, that's the word. But yeah, I'm like, wait, so is Bob like intentionally harassing them? Or I don't know. The whole thing kind of doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and they don't have caller ID, I think, so they don't actually know it's Bob.
Yeah. Maybe they're like, we're just not gonna have a phone.
They're just like, for whatever reason, we're gonna hold each other in the kitchen and ignore the phone.
Yeah, so we find out that Dawson got up because he goes to the video store where Pacey is working a shift, and
Hmm.
he felt the need to like get up right then and go run to the store and tell Pacey, he's like, actually, no, I don't want you to do anything.
And Pacey, which like also, did Pacey just have a shift tonight? Did Pacey go find snails, go to the carnival, take Joey home, unsuccessfully kiss Joey, and then go to work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pacey's like, "Oh, you don't want me to kiss her."
Yeah, and like teases him for a bit, like fucks around with him for a bit by saying, "Well, you're a little late."
Yeah. She's like, "Yeah, she's cooking me dinner. We're doing this and
Yeah,
that."
we made out. We played tonsil hockey, I think is what he said. And Dawson realizes from then that like he's not being serious. And Dawson says, "You're so
Mhm.
full of it." And Pacey,
Mhm.
completely fed up, says, "Yes, I am, and so are you."
Yes. Pacey is over it. Pacey is done with the subtext. Pacey is done with all of their shit.
Yes. He's like, "Now I'm involved, and so I'm really annoyed about this whole situation."
Yeah. If I can't kiss her, then someone needs to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, he says you spend way too much time worrying about, like, your friend, your supposed friend,
Mhm.
and Dawson looks at him like, "Oh," like, kind of gets, like, defensive and thinks he's being crazy by, like, calling him out on this, and
Mhm.
but no, Pacey goes on and is like, "So is it Jen or is it Joey? Do you like the blonde or the brunette?"
Yeah.
Which is kind of like such a thing in TV shows of like who it's a love triangle, which really it's not right now. Jen wants nothing to do with Dawson. It's really just the line, but I guess Dawson's
Yeah.
acting like he's not interested in the line. But like, who's it gonna be? And Pacey's like, these questions are not going away, so like, figure out your shit. And that's basically how it ends.
Yeah. Which leads me to my conclusion, if we are well ready to move on.
Okay, well, I just also want to mention at the very end they play some troubling piano.
Oh, yeah, troubling
Like,
piano. Yeah, through a lot of it, they're playing this song called, I think it's called "She's the One," and
oh
it's
yeah.
just very meandering and just like, oh god.
Yeah.
So the music is doing work.
The music is doing all sorts of work. Totally forgot to say who the writer and director were and the date it came out because I didn't actually check that stuff. Oh well, you guys can look it up.
Well, one thing that we will remember to do is ask the age-old question: whose creek is it?
It's crazy because a lot of like I don't wanna say big things, but like things have moved forward in some ways for multiple
Yeah,
people.
dramatic things.
Mhm. I don't wanna give it to Dawson because he's just been such an ass this episode, and I feel bad, like, about the fact that, like, he's the main character, we're trying to like this show, but we just keep saying like, much he sucks.
At least season 1, he sucks.
Mhm. Yeah. I do think I think as he ages throughout the series, he gets better most of the time. He has his spurts here and there, but other people have their spurts here and there, you know? But
Mhm.
yeah, this season he's pretty consistently just annoying. So, yeah, I don't really wanna give it to Dawson. I just wanna shout out, I do love Mary Beth. I wish we'll see her more, but I don't think we really do. I don't wanna I mean, I guess that's
Yeah.
not really blowing anything, but
Mary Beth seems cool.
yeah, yeah, I like her. I'm like, she should just be like the friend in the group, has no romantic ties to anybody.
Yeah, she's like dating a guy on the soccer team that at a different school.
Yeah. Very low drama,
Yeah.
low conflict. Anyway, I feel for Jen in this episode. And like Joey's there and she's kind of it's nice that she's building this relationship with like Pacey outside of Dawson. At least we think so. I mean, maybe she's going to like be weird around him for now on because of this whole situation, but at least with this episode it seemed like they got along, B like they managed to have something between them that did not involve Dawson. At least for a
Mhm.
while until Pacey tried to pursue her.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Pacey. It's Pacey's Creek this episode. We get to see a lot more insight into like how he in his own way is a little like guarded, but he does it by being like kind of glib, not like um being like aggressive like Joey or passive aggressive.
That was my conclusion as well, that it was Pacey's Creek this week.
Yay.
He had a realization about his feelings and how he was feeling about Joey. He like, he tried to be a good friend by going to Dawson first, even though I don't know that it's necessary. He tried to express himself with Joey and then accepted the rejection. And then he just told the truth to Dawson, because apparently no one does that. So for me, it was Pacey's Creek.
Yeah. I mean, we learned that he's actually a pretty nice guy to women. I mean, well, I guess we can't say that because of the whole thing with Tamara. Maybe he's grown from that relationship.
Yeah. And also, he's not, I didn't like the way he behaved with Tamara, but also he was the child.
Yeah, like he wasn't in charge of that situation.
No matter how much he tried to
Hmm.
move it forward.
Yeah. So, I don't know, what else is there to say? Like, we realize that he has trouble in school, but apparently he isn't an idiot. He just seems to not really care, and we're not really sure why, whether it's just he's kind of one of those lazy guys or like maybe it's because people don't believe in him. Who knows? It could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
We kind of get to see that he has more to him than previously shown. Him spying on Joey while she's changing, not great, not great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely, it was borderline. It was not, yeah, not great. If we go based on what we saw, we assume that he didn't actually see anything explicit, but a little sketchy.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Anything else to say about this episode?
If we could have cut out Dawson's entire storyline, it would have been a much more pleasant episode. It was just, oh god.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of Dawson and Jen, and they're like both being dumb, but Dawson's being aggressively, meanly dumb.
She's being passively dumb.
Yeah, she's being like, she's annoying. He's aggravating.
Hmm. Now all the friends have some kind of romantic situation.
Yeah.
We're already there. It's halfway through season 1 maybe, and we're already there.
Honestly, I'm kind of hoping for there to be some plot point that's not romance. Like, Dawson used to make movies. I'm getting a little tired of the same romantic. We keep treading the same path. It feels like to me.
Yeah, yeah. It does change. There are actual things that happen in the series that are not just romantic.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know why they're going that way first. Trying to appeal to like teenage girls, maybe. I don't know. So the next episode is called The Scare.
scary, spooky. Is it a Halloween episode?
Maybe. I'm actually not sure, but I think actually it is.
We will find out. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We haven't been super active on socials, but you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Whose Creek Is It?
Yeah, I actually did think of an idea.
Ooh.
We should post pictures of creeks and be like, where is like what's this creek's name? Do you know this creek by the geography?
You want to go after, what is it? Is it like geo detectives or something? There are people who
Yeah.
you give them like a photo and they can like backtrack to it.
Okay.
Hey,
We could
I'm down for whatever. I support you.
we could post pictures and just be like, out of the characters, who do you think who would live on this creek? Whose creek is I'm sorry, these are all really dumb ideas.
You know what? I'm down to try anything. Social media is free to post on.